What is going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us today. I'm Crypto Ed from 1 Hour Investing, and I'm just excited to be here to host another crypto community Zoom series where we want to alternative ways of growing, of getting involved in the crypto space without having to get involved in, I guess I'm like trading, I'm doing risky day trading, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that day trading is not for everybody. And I know my experience. The first time when I got into stocks, this was back in 2008. And we all know what happened afterwards. And then when I got into crypto, right, this was around the time when crypto had the big nosedive too. So I know for myself, day trading is not really my thing. And this is why I'm excited about this series right here that we're doing. This is our second part of our series on how to accumulate crypto without having to trade. So before I jump into this, I just want to quickly go over our schedule. For our schedule, we have a panel discussion followed by, after hours hangout. If we have time, or we can bring out some crypto news and we can talk about it. But this is pretty exciting. And just some disclaimers. I do want to make it clear and out there for everyone that this is just a gathering of people who are passionate about crypto and personal finance. None of what we share should be considered as financial advice. And we're not financial professionals, and sometimes we prefer to keep it that way to ensure that this is an unbiased community, right? And you should assume that any crypto that's mentioned, we either own or we have dumped it in the past. Right? And if you do want to get in on crypto, you want to participate in any of the ways that has been discussed, make sure you do your own due diligence, consult a professional advisor if you need like professional advice. And hopefully your crypto broker won't make you any broker. So we're going to start our first part, which is our crypto panel, and I'm pretty excited to have a couple, some of our panelists here. So we have, for starters, we have Adam Soltys. So the wave here, and so I can read about Adam's background. So for Adam, his background is he is the CTO and co-founder of CoinOS Financial Corporation, a local Vancouver startup and dev shop that is building open source wallet, exchange, and NFT market platform. He has been running Bitcoin since 2011 and was one of the early organizers of the Vancouver Bitcoin meetup and co-founder of the Bitcoin Co-op and decentral hackerspace. He's a seasoned web developer and has started cold-calling businesses back when he was in high school, back in the 90s, to see if they needed help on making marketing pages. And he got his comp sci degree from UBC. He worked in IT for the federal government and some mid-level enterprises. And now he does full stack development and consulting, mainly with JavaScript. So he's Adam's our first panelist. And then for our second panelist, we have Tian Zhao, who's been in the crypto space. He met Vitalik Buterin back in I think it was in 2015 when Ethereum was coming out, and Tian has been going about getting deeper into the crypto space through working for different companies. So instead of what Adam did, where he working for different companies, he's been. Can you quickly name, just list a few companies you work for? I don't have your Medium posts.
Sure, no problem. I just want to check though. There was a bit of an audio problem. I don't know if that was me or you.
Okay. Let's see. Is this better? Without the fan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've worked for various blockchain companies as a designer ever since 2015. Notable ones include Consensus, and then actually the other ones are not as notable if you're not a crypto native, but they're kind of notable within the Ethereum space. So Claros is in the legal tech space. That's one of them. Another one is Raise. The website is getraise.io. That one is corporate asset management solution based out of Africa. I also designed my own app. It was supposed with the intention of turning it into a startup, but that didn't end up happening. But it was still a very interesting experience. I got to, because it was an international experience. I was in Germany at the time, and it was a fintech app all about investing your spare change in crypto. And then these days, I've been doing some very cool things. So my full-time job is actually not in the blockchain space, but I freelance on the side with a number of different blockchain companies. And right now, I have 3 different freelance gigs at the moment. One is an NFT marketplace for this client called music.com. Second is something called Black Wall Street, which is a crypto wallet for Black Americans to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Massacre. And then last but not least is a crypto donation platform called Giveth, so Giveth.io. And yeah, I've done a bunch of other design work in this space, but there's too many to name.
That's cool. So yeah, so we can dig a bit into that a bit later once I introduce everyone first, and then yeah, and I'm going to introduce our third panelist, which is Andrew Wagner. He's one of the, I would say, consider him as like a crypto OG within the Vancouver crypto space. He was the one who actually introduced me to Bitcoin back when I thought it was just, I call this like magic money or funny money. So I didn't believe him. And I actually wish I got in as much as he did, like got in as early as he did. Because he got in when, like, this was back in 2013, 2012, right? I think I remember you told me about how you took all the money from your bank account and just put it on the Bitcoin back then. And yeah, I think he's shown the world that like you can live on crypto. You can live on crypto. You can get by with crypto. And Andrew, he's done a lot of work in the crypto space from being like a crypto reporter journalist. He worked for a couple news cryptos, I guess, firms. But right now, Andrew is earning crypto through a very unique way, which is through blockchain gaming. Imagine like earning crypto just by playing games. And yeah, so Andrew is the co-founder of blockchaingaming.com, where he talks about different ways and different crypto blockchain gaming projects out there. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to have him up there. So yeah, so I'm going to get started by just giving all of our panelists some of the house rules. The first thing to note is that our questions are presented. We'll present the questions, and I'll pick each of you guys to answer. And you'll have about 1 to 2 minutes to speak. And you don't have to use up your full time if you don't want to, and you could if you do. And if you do go over time, I will give you a warning. And after 15 seconds after the warning, I will mute you to ensure that we do end on time for everybody. And please be respectful of each of the different methods out there. I mean, this is not a debate. We don't want to say that, like freelancing is better than like writing or so on, right? So we want to be respectful. I don't expect too much debating here. Usually we get them when we have different chains talking. But yeah, so I guess let's go on with the first question. So first question would be, briefly tell us how you are growing in your crypto stack. So let's start off with Adam. Since Adam has been, I would say he's been around like the crypto space for the most longest for all of us here. So feel free to talk, Adam.
Yeah, I guess I started growing my crypto stack just by taking savings and my salary that I was earning when I was working at the Canadian government and just started buying Bitcoin with it. I tried a couple mining operations. Got some miners hosted in China that I own the hardware, but they were running in a warehouse next to a hydroelectric dam for me, and also just bought shares in some mining companies. And I started doing the local trading thing where I would post a classified ad on localbitcoins.com and then meet up with people who mostly wanted to buy Bitcoin, but occasionally I'd get someone who had Bitcoin and wanted to sell it. And I would just meet up in like coffee shops or restaurants or wherever was convenient. I'd ride my bicycle all around Vancouver and come and kind of set people up with their first Bitcoin wallet in a lot of cases. Just get them like a mobile app. Back then it was the Blockstream or blockchain.info wallet, but yeah, I started recommending different wallets over the years, but yeah, just getting them set up to get an address and receive a payment, and then they'd give me some cash or send me a transfer, and I would sell some Bitcoin. And then I had an account on CA Vertex, which was one of the early Canadian Bitcoin exchanges. So I'd just go and buy more Bitcoin there with the money that I collected from them and reload my stack, and then go out and try to sell it and just charge like a minimal fee. Like I think I was charging 1% over whatever I paid to get the Bitcoin. And if I got lucky, some days I'd meet someone in the morning who would sell me Bitcoin and give me like a bunch of Bitcoin, and I'd give them cash. And then in the afternoon, I'd go and flip that and sell it to someone who wanted to buy it off me. So sometimes it worked out where I didn't have to go to the exchange. I could just kind of play the spread and get lucky with my clients that way. And yeah, I've been working for Bitcoin for the last 2 years. So just traditionally like doing contract work, mostly web development, application development, and billing companies and startups hourly for my time. So I just put a Bitcoin address on my invoice, and they send me a payment. These days, I'm trying to get people to pay me over the Lightning Network. And I have a URL at my wallet at CoinOS. So if you go to coinos.io/Adam, that'll give you like a QR code or an address or a Lightning invoice. You can kind of pick your payment method there, and that lets anyone pay me. So I just put that in my invoices now, and it's like it'll generate a new address or invoice for whoever wants to send me a payment. And that's free for anyone to try. If anyone else wants to get their own coinos.io/yourname, you can just go and register a free account there and try it out.
Yeah, can you tell us a bit more about like your, I guess, your venture into like building like your own app? Since you said you started building CoinOS, I'm like, what got you started with that, and like, and where is
Yeah,
that?
so when I was meeting people in like cafes and stuff, and discussing Bitcoin for hours on end, I started thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool if we could get the cafe owners to accept Bitcoin, so we could like buy our coffee and muffin or whatever we want to get with the Bitcoin, just to try it out and see if we could use it for buying stuff. So I started talking to merchants, and I met Andrew here pretty early on, and he was running an ESL group that was meeting up in coffee shops and things. So the two of us kind of went around and hooked up a bunch of restaurants and cafes, and for them to receive a payment, I wasn't quite satisfied with any of the mobile wallets because they didn't record the fiat rate at the time of sale. So I built my own just simple one-page widget that looked up the Canadian dollar price of Bitcoin, let people enter their Bitcoin address, and put in like a Canadian dollar amount for the sale for like selling a coffee or something. And then it would convert that to the right amount of Bitcoin and show a little notification when the payment was received on the blockchain. And it just evolved from there into kind of point of sale web wallet. And I started getting more and more companies using it, and then started building up more of the peer-to-peer payments just for having basic wallet functionality to send payments to your friends. I integrated like Facebook login to make it easy to sign in, and recently integrated the Lightning Network and the Liquid Network so that the fees are a lot cheaper and you don't have to wait for confirmations, which was one of the big issues with retail payments back in the day. Like you had to wait for a full blockchain Bitcoin confirmation, which could take 10 minutes or longer. if you wanted to be sure that someone wasn't going to double spend and reverse the payment on you. So that's mostly a solved problem now. So I'm looking forward to seeing more like Bitcoin retail adoption in the real world picking up again.
That's pretty exciting. Just the idea of like developing your own wallet, and then maybe one day, a couple like 5 to 10 years from now, like a lot of people using your wallet and just being introduced to crypto through what you've built for them. And I think that's gonna be a pretty exciting start right there.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. So I'm gonna go up to our second panelist, Tian. So so now you can, if you want to tell us a bit more. I guess I know you started a bit at the beginning about company you work for. So can you tell us a bit more about like company you work for, how they are?
Okay, so basically just my experience in this space.
Yeah, your experience. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So my story is pretty interesting, I think, because yeah, in 2015 I was at a hackathon in Waterloo, and I was still a student at the time. I was majoring in human factors engineering at the University of Toronto. And at this hackathon, there was a guy called Vitalik who was giving a talk about Ethereum. And at that time, I've heard of Bitcoin already, but I didn't know much about anything else other than what Bitcoin was. But Ethereum sounded interesting because the way they presented it was like, they said that it was like Bitcoin 2.0, and they said that it was going to be a global supercomputer. So like, this all sounds very cool because I'm all about just like being a futurist. So yeah, my interest was definitely very piqued. So I went to the talk, heard it, and to be honest, a lot of the things that he talked about went over my head because I'm not a developer, so I didn't really like, at that time when I was a student, I didn't get most of what he was talking about, but it definitely seemed like a fascinating space. And so I just got more interested in the space. And it was also the same year that he got his first round of funding from, well, not first round, but one of his major rounds of funding from Peter Thiel, $100,000 called the Thiel Fellowship. He got accepted into that. And then at that time, I was also very entrepreneurial, and I wanted to get accepted into that too, but I didn't qualify because I wasn't a prodigy, unfortunately. But I found out about this thing called the Thiel Summit, and so I got to apply to that and got accepted to that, which was a conference, and I got to meet some other thought leaders and industry leaders in the space. And I'm realizing now, as I'm saying this, that like I'm going too much in detail about this one specific event, but I'm definitely, I don't want to dwell too much into that. But I guess I just wanted to say that, like, yeah, this was like the catalyst for what got me into this space. And then ever since then, it's been an exponential journey into the space, I would say, for me. Because ever since I came back, I was still in school. So and it was also the early days, right? Like it was 2015, 2016. So, and Toronto is not Silicon Valley, it's not Wall Street. So there's not a lot of opportunities here relative to those two hubs in the world, even though we can say that Canada gave birth to Ethereum. But at that time, there was just not a lot of opportunities. And I was a designer, so there was even less opportunities for a designer to contribute in the blockchain space during those early days. But I hustled, and I was able to get this one small internship where I got paid in Ether. And that was very cool because, that was before the crypto summer of 2017. So I got Ether when it was super cheap. And then I did some more work for some very early stage bootstrap startups. But then fast forward to 2017, when the crypto summer occurred, that was when I really realized that the space was taking off, and I really wanted to get deeper into the space. Okay, unfortunately, it was also a very bad summer for me from a personal level. So I ended up going abroad and doing that opportunity that I mentioned earlier, where I got to design an app from scratch as part of a team where it was almost going to be a startup. But because I ended up coming back to Toronto, we didn't end up turning it into a startup. But yeah, so that was cool regardless, because I got to be a part of this I mean, because I got to visit other parts of Europe and visit the block. One could argue it's the blockchain capital of the world, because it's otherwise known as Crypto Valley, and so that's located in Switzerland, because Switzerland is very lax when it comes to the regulations around crypto and blockchain. In fact, yeah, and
I mean, they have their own financial system. They're not in the Eurozone. Even though they're in Europe, they have their own, like, I guess, financial system. So that gives them a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. So yeah, I had the privilege of visiting there, or I took the opportunity to visit there to attend their annual conference called the Crypto Valley Summit, and just do some more networking and meet some more thought leaders and industry leaders, and it was really cool. And then yeah, visited Portugal for the Web Summit, and there was also a lot of blockchain startups there, and visited London, UK for another blockchain conference.
So was it through these summits that you found your opportunities, like your freelance opportunities and contracts and such?
Not exactly, no. I would say eventually, fast forward to 2019, after I was able to create myself a stronger portfolio of design work in the blockchain space, because I was able to work with companies like Consensus. And so Consensus, for those who don't know, is like this big, huge venture studio. And they're one of the pioneers in the space, because it's founded by one of the original co-founders of the Ethereum blockchain, Joseph Lubin, who, by the way, is also Canadian, but now he's living in Boston, but he also travels all over the world. Anyway, Consensus, and then other companies as well in the Ethereum space, and so because of all that, I was able to eventually, recently, as of 2020, or no, as of late 2019, get more contract work in the space. And ideally, I want to work full-time in the space, but it's just been, for whatever reason, it's just been difficult for me to get in full-time. I don't know why. Well, but recently in 2021, I actually did get 3 full-time offers, but I ended up turning all of them down because my current full-time job is great. I get to work in an office. Like, I'm actually in the company office right now. Whereas the other 3 are all remote. And I'm actually not like very passionate about 100% full remote work. Like, I know remote work has become this thing that, like, it's been hyped up recently.
Yeah,
right?
it's like the norm. I think a lot of companies are making it the norm last year, and I think a lot of them are planning on keeping remote.
Yeah, but I don't like that. I like flexibility. I think it is definitely important to have flexibility, but I don't believe in the whole 100% remote work situation. So that's why, like, my full-time job is not in the blockchain space, but it's in an adjacent space. It's in the fintech space. Oh yeah, sorry, you were going to say something?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I just want to make sure we keep on time. I do have more questions for
For sure.
three of you guys. So I do want to give Andrew a chance to introduce himself and talk about, I guess, the journalism, the crypto journalism stuff he did, and then also blockchain gaming that he's doing. So, Andrew, you have the stage now.
Sure.
You are on mute, Andrew. I have to unmute.
Yeah, I did used to work for News BTC, Bitcoin magazine. Anyone who's looking to write articles, if you want to earn crypto that way, it's always a fun way to do it. I mean, being a writer, though, I'm not going to lie to you, doesn't pay as well as other things you can do in the crypto space. It depends what outlet you write for and how quickly you can write. If you want to really be profitable or, really making a lot as a writer in the crypto space, you have to be able to write in bulk, like churn out articles per day. And, I preferred more editorial style content, but, most outlets won't pay you like a News BTC, like $10 an article. You're lucky to get that. Things like that. outlets that pay you the type of rate you would expect, like as a journalist would get for writing for a newspaper is not common. I still write just for fun. I mean, there's other options. You can write on Steemit, not Steemit. I use Hive now, the new equivalent. I don't know if anyone knows how those things work. It's like social media on the blockchain. Hive has a thing called peak. Like when you get upvotes, you get newly minted tokens. So it's kind of like Reddit in a way. And you can kind of hear that in the name, right? Steemit, Reddit. Except again, we're not calling it Steemit anymore because there's been all kinds of governance forks.
Everyone migrated over to Hive platform ever since the takeover.
Yeah, but anyway, the point is that there's incentivized posting. So if everybody likes your post and it goes viral, you might find yourself earning lots of tokens. I think my best one recently, I made a post that earns over 100 Hive rewards, which basically means, I forget if that's denominated in Hive or in dollars, but it means I got at least $30 for a post. I mean, not bad. You'll find like Hive now is heavily dominated by Latin Americans. And if I were to pull them, I think a lot of them are from Venezuela, and they're like relying on Hive as almost an income generator, which is, to be honest, becoming common in blockchain gaming as well. Like you'll find that Axie Infinity and games like that are extremely popular in the Philippines, for example. A lot of Filipinos love Axie Infinity. And the buzzword is play to earn. Play games, make money. I personally, I invest in these games and buy the tokens when they're useful. I make more of my money that way. But as a concept, it's fun to talk about. Play to earn, play games, make money. Yeah, the Hive games I've been doing lately a lot. These games where, so it's, Hive is typically a social media thing, but just like there's games on Facebook, there's frequently games affiliated with social media platforms, and Hive is no different. A variety of browser games, and most of them are a play to earn type of concept. There's other words for that. Back in the day, we called it human mining, but it's all the same thing. Human mining, play to earn. You are, as a player, generating coins. I mean, there's slight technical. If you go on our wiki.blockchaingaming.com, you'll see there's very slight, like technical differences or assumptions made when you use those two words. But, the concept is the same from the player's perspective, I suppose. Lately, we've been trying to help people do that more. We have like a scholarship program. So like, now, obviously, with games like this, you will have an advantage if you have money enough to buy assets. And if that wasn't the case, that has to be the case to make it attractive for investors, right? The tokens have to have utility, or else why would an investor buy those tokens? And so there are tokens and things in the game that give you an advantage. So for our scholarship program, which I've been doing for some of these Hive games lately, and really I've just chosen Hive for our scholarship program. I wouldn't say I'm a Hive fanboy. I like Ethereum, or I like Zaya as well. I like Polygon, but Hive seemed under-resourced at the time, like due to various factors, such that I thought a scholarship program would go over well, and it did. It's been popular. Although I had to. Oh, a poll came up. Oh, it's poll results. Yeah, I had to. Like I said, it's been so popular in other parts of the world that I've already had to set up a Spanish language channel on our Discord server and hire to get a mod who translates for us, because I just couldn't. so many of the people on the play to earn concepts don't even know English that I was pretty much forced to get a translator for dealing with this situation, which is cool, right? As an investor, it's not my goal to help people in Venezuela earn money, but if they do, then it's to me that's really interesting. The whole play to earn concept.
That's interesting. So yeah, I'll have more questions for you a bit later. So let's move on to the next question we have right now. This is a good question everybody wants to know. Is like how much can an average person make using each of the methods that's been described? So we can start with Adam. I know Adam talked about how he first started doing I guess Bitcoin or crypto brokering, right? Where you connect buyers and sellers. So you want to share a bit more about this first?
Yeah, I guess first I should say that the regulatory environment has sort of made that a lot more difficult these days than it was when I was doing it. So you might get in trouble from the CRA or other authorities if you're going out and doing cash transactions for crypto these days. You're supposed to have a money services business license and do KYC, take people's IDs, report to the government if anyone's doing over certain amounts of cash and all that. So it's not as easy for just anyone to start doing that. There's more hoops to jump through.
Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yes,
but
I get
the other method I guess I sort of touched on was just running Bitcoin in your business. Like I didn't mention it at the start, but I ran a little organic farm business in Richmond for a couple of years and just had a QR code up letting people pay me in Bitcoin for vegetables. And the companies that Andrew and I were setting up were just using it as a payment method for whatever goods and services they wanted. So it's really easy to spin up like a website these days and start selling anything. Like it could be some sort of service that you offer to hop on a call and give people advice about something that you're knowledgeable about, and just try to earn Bitcoin the same way that you would earn fiat currency. But it's a lot easier for people to pay you with Bitcoin over the internet, and it's cheaper for both of you.
That's interesting.
How much can you make? It's hard to say. It's
I guess different. It may not be a lot, but over time, right, whatever you collect, right, could go up in value. So, I mean, it's
that's the other thing is it still makes sense just to buy and hold as much as you can, I think.
That's true. And then how about the other method, how you are building a wallet, and like, do you expect this to like grow and become like as big as, let's say, Bread Wallet or maybe like Coinbase or something, or is it like
well, there's so many free wallets out there that I don't expect to make a lot of money just doing payments and the wallet, but it's more of a way to the POS, kind of the same. Like it's hard to charge people to give them a Bitcoin POS because there's free ones out there, like BTC Pay Server is a popular one that anyone can integrate with their e-commerce platform, and it's really easy to set up and get like your own Bitcoin node and take payments for free. So I want to make that super easy and offer a nice interface for businesses to do that, and add a few more features that would let them like pay their or invoice their customers in a retail store by like just picking their avatar from a list of their frequent customers, and just kind of building the UI, UX, the user experience for that to make it super easy to collect payments from people. But the revenue model I've got for my sites that I'm building is more focused on like a SaaS model, where I'm going to offer to clone these platforms that I've built for other people, maybe in other countries or other provinces that want to run their own exchange, run their own wallet, run their own marketplace for NFTs, and charge them like by the month for me to host that for them, set it all up, do some custom branding or white labeling, and yeah, just kind of let anyone be their own bank, be their own Bitcoin business, and hopefully get some larger companies that are willing to pay more for like support and custom feature development and stuff. But that's sort of a niche thing. Like not everyone is got the application development skills that I've built up. So
Yeah.
learning how to program is a worthwhile endeavor. And there's tons of resources these days.
How long do you think it'll take for someone who maybe, let's say, who doesn't know anything about programming, and like for them to become like able to like program something like?
You can jump in within a week and just start going through tutorials online. The educational resources have improved by leaps and bounds since I was first learning this stuff by taking out books and reading about PHP. It's become a lot more like interactive and fun to learn programming. So yeah, to get something like meaningful going, again, it sort of depends on everyone's individual talent, I guess, how quickly you can pick it up. But, I'd say within a few months for your average person, you could be programming something that's valuable and that you could probably build a minimum viable product that you could start charging people to use.
Pretty exciting. Yeah, so there's hope for those of us who are non-developers. If you want to learn, it's not too hard to learn. It takes a couple months, as what Adam said. I mean, like I'm not a developer myself, but I figure out how to read like at least some part of a smart contract. And I was able to. I mean, there was like a smart contract I got in, and then it turned out to be an exit scam, right? But my tokens were still in there, my crypto was still in there. I was able to like look at a smart contract, interact with the contract, and actually get my crypto out without, like, despite the fact the website's down and everything. And that's the exciting thing about the blockchain space, right? While we're used to like a website like HTML format, even if the website's down, the smart contract is still there. And for whatever reason, if the website's down, you can, as long as you have the contract address, you can go on like ETH Explorer, you can go on like BSC Explorer, Tron Explorer, whatever platform you have, right? And interact with the contract, right? And then you just have to look for the withdraw function, and then you can get your money back right there. So that's a cool trick. Yeah, so it's not too hard to learn. So if someone like me, if a non-technical person can learn something like this, I'm pretty sure that all you guys can learn something like that too. So yeah, so I'm gonna move on to our second panelist. So Tian, so can you tell us a bit more about I guess the time when you were freelancing, working for different companies, and like how? Yeah, I think it's just like the same question I asked Adam about like how much can like an average person make just by offering to freelance for blockchain companies.
Okay. I mean, it really, yeah, depends on what you do. I think developers definitely, I mean, not I think, I know developers definitely earn the most. But as a designer, I've been able to, I think, earn a pretty good rate as well. And it also like depends on if you work for a company that is willing to pay you in crypto. And I think it's pretty cool that, yeah, like one of the companies that I'm freelancing right now, they're paying me in fiat, but there are opportunities where they have presented such that I could get paid in a mix of fiat and crypto, and yeah, like they pay me. One of them, one time I got paid in a mix of crypto and fiat, and I think the benefit of that is, of course, if the crypto goes up, then you're going to earn more, right? Like you're not just paid the amount that you got paid, you're going to get more because it went up. And
was it in like a large cap token, or were they paying in like the company token that they?
Not the company token. This is actually one of their clients.
Oh,
and they're a very cool company. They they were an offshoot of Ethereum, but now they've spun off and they're doing their own thing. It's called Swarm, the Swarm protocol, and their token is the BZZ token. And I think
So they pay you in BZZ Swarm tokens and mix a fiat, right? And
yeah,
did it go up?
I think it did recently. I'm not sure. I haven't really checked, to be honest. But
you kept it, right? Or did you switch? Did you swap to like, I mean,
it happened really recently, actually.
Oh, okay. So I guess yeah. So it's still too soon to tell whether it's a good idea to keep it or switch it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that is a fun I guess one of the fun features of like getting paid in crypto, like especially if it's like a smaller cap coin or like it's like a mystery bag. Like there's a chance that it could be worth a lot, right? Like, imagine if you were working for, let's say, Aave, right? Back then they had the name ETHLend, right? Imagine if they were paying you, right? And then after they have 100x, you'll be a happy guy, right? So so I mean, and then of course, there's also other times where like some of these tokens may go to zero. So and it comes down to, I guess, some different people's comfort level, right? Like, if you feel more comfortable like holding on to like Ethereum, ETH, right? You can switch to that, right? If you need to take a gamble, right, you can hold on to it. And some people may do like a bit of both, where they switch like 50% or 75% back to like a token that they're familiar with, or maybe somebody may even go straight to like stablecoin because they just feel like they can sleep at home, like sleep at night, like just holding on to stable tokens.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
That's cool. But anything else you want to add before I guess I'll move on to Andrew?
Yeah, no, I think I'm good. Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's have Andrew answer the question that I guess that people want to know. I know you talked briefly about the writing part. It's $10 an article, so it's not as not that big. But how about for the gaming part? Like for someone who wants to get in gaming, like what are the ranges someone could make and just by like as you describe about like play to earn, right? And how it's taking off in the Philippines.
Yeah, well, in the Philippines, there's been stories on the news about like a guy who got a new house and stuff like that from playing Axie Infinity. But there's two things to that. One is, it's a house in the Philippines isn't as bad expensive as a house in, let's say, Vancouver. But also he got into Axie pretty early. So if you start playing Axie now, I don't think you're going to get a house that way, or at least not just from playing the game. At this point, if you want to earn enough to get yourself a new house, you probably have to invest in the game first to give yourself a variety of advantages, get a good team, stuff like that. Some people try to find scholarships of people to lend them teams, or they try to borrow teams like on rent. But really you should hold your expectations a bit, I guess, because you are playing a game. You are playing to earn, but I wouldn't look at it like a job exactly. You're playing a game, and in that sense, economically speaking, you have a lot of people who are willing to play a game to get money. It's about supply and demand. No one wants to train to be a doctor, so we need more doctors, so doctors get paid a lot. Everyone wants to play games, so everyone applies for the game playing job. So we don't really, that's not a high demand occupation. But if you find a game and get good at it before it explodes in market cap and popularity, then you might get lucky and get a house that way. Like, think about, because right now Axie's, I think, above $1 billion in market cap. And
Wow.
when it started, it was much less than that. I remember seeing it in like the $10 million market cap. Some of the games in our blockchain gaming accelerator that we're doing scholarships for are pretty young, market caps in the tens of thousands. And it's, if they grow to a larger market cap, the price has to grow as well. I mean, assuming the tokens you're investing in aren't inflationary. If the market cap grows, so too must the price. So it can be good to play a new game, is what I'm saying. Although, just like in the real world, a new game is less polished, less well developed, might be less fun, right? Like playing the demo of a game is not as fun as playing the completed game when it comes out. But in this case, like I said, it's about supply and demand. Everyone wants to play the completed game. Less people want to play the demo. And so there are less players of the demo. It's less competitive. Your earning potential through the future is greater.
And now note of new games and such, right? We know that there always be new games coming out, right? And then the question I'm curious about is, like, would you think it's preferable to play an up and coming game like from a big developer, or is it more advantageous to play an up and coming game from like an indie developer or a new guy on the block?
Well, at this stage, all the play to earn games are by indie developers. There are large.
I mean, Mirandus and all, like Gala. I would consider them as pretty big. I mean, they have like a couple of games like under the belts already, right? And a huge fan base. And I could imagine.
Maybe I should clarify. Operational games that are currently already up and running that you can play to earn through. Most of those that are working and out so far are not by large studios. So there are large game studios coming to blockchain. Ubisoft has already declared its intentions, and there's trying to remember the name. Animoca Brands, there's another one. I'm trying to remember the names of other ones. I had some listed on our wiki, but I think just with Ubisoft, if you play games enough, you've heard that name. And they are coming to blockchain gaming, but not all blockchain games focus on playing to earn. And I'm not sure Ubisoft and some of these mainstream titles and what we call AAA developers is the buzzword. AAA, like Ubisoft, Bethesda, they make the games on your home console. AAA. I'm not sure they're going to focus as much on play to earn.
That's true.
I mean,
they do exist more to extract value for their shareholders and not really like.
I think it more has to do with regulatory concerns.
Oh, really?
Large publishers like Ubisoft are extremely fearful of adding financial products to their games because they fear regulatory scrutiny in a way that smaller firms might fly under the radar if they try to do it, and they probably do. And there's different types of games lend themselves more to playing to earn than others do. If you think about it, that some games gameplay style naturally makes them more able to play to earn. Like, how would you make Street Fighter play to earn? Like, a game where.
Oh no! I mean, only way I know like AAA games have like play to earn function would be through like tournaments, and it's usually like the esports people who earn and everybody else lose.
Yeah, that's true that with esports and the concept of teams, betting, and prizes, you can make any game play to earn.
Yeah, but it's not for everybody. It's only like the celebrity esports player who actually make money from it.
But the majority of play to earn games to be truly good at being a play to earn game. I mean, true, we can do the prizes and the tournaments with any game, as you can do with Dota or anything. But to be truly adept at being a play to earn game, it needs to be a game with an in-game economy.
Yeah.
If your game lacks an in-game economy, its play to earn potential is vastly reduced. And not all games are a type of game that have the concept of a marketplace or large unified in-game economy. Some games are single player,
Yeah.
and it's fine. But yeah, so you got to think about things like that. And Ubisoft makes a lot of single player games, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of cinematic experiences too. They're artistic experiences. Although I do still think those things can be put on the blockchain to the degree that I also am interested in non-financial uses of blockchain for games. But if the game is single player, it gets really hard to apply blockchain to that. I mean, what is the point? You don't need a server for a single player game. Think about it for a moment.
There's not really much of a blockchain application for it either.
Yeah. You need the server for interaction with other people.
Yeah. But a good point on that you made, what you made on the whole in-game economy, right, between the players, because at the end of the day, that's how it works. I mean, that's even how like crypto gets value, because there are multiple people who can agree on like this digital token is worth something. So I do, I'm going to do the next question. Is that I do want to make sure we do have enough time for like the community discussion afterwards. So this is the third question I have, which is what are the biggest risks, right, that you should be aware of, or anyone who wants to get try doing the method to be aware of in the space. So I know for Adam, mentioned about for brokering is no longer available because of the regulatory concerns. So maybe tell us a bit about like some of the biggest risks that you may be aware of in the area of developing apps, developing platforms and applications in the crypto space.
I guess basic computer security. You gotta watch out for hackers. Make sure you back up your keys, preferably offline on a paper wallet or a hardware wallet on a device that isn't connected to the internet, and make multiple backups. So if your backup device gets lost or broken or stolen, you can have another one somewhere else that you can still access your money. A lot of people lock themselves out of their crypto rather than get hacked by other people.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of business. Yeah, it's true that these are like even though they may be personal like security risks, it also applies to businesses. I think we've seen a number of businesses, right, that had that experience, like what you share about. I mean, the biggest one if you're in Canada, right, it's just the example of Quadrica CX. How the founder he passed away with quotations. We don't know for sure, and his wallet's locked. Right, so that's one risk. And then I think there was also another story. I forgot which company, but there was like a custodial company, a crypto custodial company that lost the password to the keys. And then they were expecting that the client would have it, and the client said, "Oh, you're the custodian. That's why I don't keep my keys." So yeah, so like losing keys can be one big risk, right, as a business. And the worst part is not just your money you're working with the company's money, right? And sometimes working with clients' money, and the stakes are much higher. So any other risks that you want to add, or do you want to pass it to the next panelists?
Also, just don't tell people about your crypto holdings. Don't even give people the sense of that you're investing in stuff. Because if you do make it big and everyone knows that you bought in early, then you get a target on your back. And there's the physical risk that someone might come and shake you down, put a gun to your head, kidnap your kids, break in and kidnap you. So yeah, just don't talk about crypto. Don't talk about your crypto. Talk about crypto in general, but don't talk about your crypto.
like don't show off like how much you have and like show your wallet and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the stakes are somewhat higher. Like when you're working in a business, it's like you have not just your own crypto, but lots of other people's crypto. And if someone who were that your crypto company has a lot, all this stuff could happen. And yeah, that is really good. I think and my hope for everyone here is to like practice good like crypto habits, right? To don't just like show off and everything, because it is some maybe like your crypto you're working with, but I think that there are like you also have to be responsible with it too, right? Not just about on the investing side, but just don't brag about it. Cool. I'm going to move on to Tian to see any risks that maybe that may be there in like in the area of freelancing for crypto companies.
Yeah. I think one just needs to have good discernment as to who's which client is good to work with, legit to work with. Because I mean, we all know ever since the crypto summer of 2017, which then proceeded to become the crypto winter of 2018, a lot of those companies ended up being scams, right? That they failed, right? So thankfully, we're not in another one of those periods of time. It's similar to how the dot-com bubble occurred in the early 2000s, right? There was a lot of, and then that bursted, right? So there was a lot of failures. But then the Web 2 space matured. The internet world that we know now, the tech world that we know now, that we're more familiar with, they matured. So I actually don't think there's that much of a risk to work for scammy type blockchain companies nowadays as much as before. But there is still a small potential, I think. I generally don't go for independent early stage bootstrap startups. I like right now, 2 of my freelance gigs are with agencies. So an agency is not a blockchain company, right? It's like they work, their clients are blockchain companies, so they do the vetting. So and then if they have a good portfolio, it means they have the discernment. And then if it comes, and then when it comes to the third one of my 3 freelance gigs, that one is a one-to-one relationship. That's a peer-to-peer relationship. There's no agency in between, but I like them because the guy that I am working with, he's a trustworthy guy because he's considered like an influencer in the space. And that's my alarm. It's actually arming the office is arming. But then I also know that there are certain projects in the space that are more legit just through their partners and who funds them and stuff like that. So like one way to know from how to discern is look at who their partners are and whatnot. But of course, then again, I mean, during that crypto summer, there was a lot of companies that advertised legit company brands on their website.
You just name drop or just put like logos on the website, right?
Yeah. I think nowadays, it's just, I mean, as they always say, it's the trust economy. So like I'm trusting the 3 people that I work, or the 2 agencies.
You got the free, I guess I'm the agency, right? How you're working with me.
For the most part, yeah.
I think that's a very smart play because I sometimes I hear people like post like a job posting like or even like you go on like you find a new project, a new yield farm, right? And they say, hey, we're looking for a developer, or we're looking for like a community moderator. And sometimes you don't know, like, can you trust them? Like especially if it's just a yield farm that just launched like a couple of days ago, they could disappear before like your pay cycle, the end of the month when you get paid. And so important to have good discernment and like really do your due diligence, like check everything, make sure all the bases are covered before that. And And I want to know for the companies you work for, they all have like the teams are all docs, right? Like the team members they review who they are. They're not like anonymous team projects or something.
Yeah, they're not all anonymous. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a huge part. Like I know a lot of projects they have anonymous teams and and they'll have like job posting from time to time, right? And I do question about like, oh, do I want to like do I want to make like do some design for them, or do I want to write for them? So like that's cool. Okay, I'm going to move on to Andrew. Unless you have more things to add. If not, yeah. So we can have Andrew. Can you tell us about some of the biggest risks that could be present in if someone wants to go about earning crypto through gaming?
Nothing out of the usual to add, really. You know, similar to what Adam said. It's usually about scammers and spammers and people trying to rob you. In gaming, you're usually dealing in an environment where people commonly use pseudonyms. You know, I mean, you don't talk to people by name. They have weird usernames like Limp Biscuit 29 or like whatever they've come up with that day. Eric Cartman 14.
Also,
And
Sir Regenston.
yeah, in that sense, sometimes scams can be easier to proliferate. There's that layer of unaccountability. Especially on Discord. Discord has like no moderation, and all the games and gaming projects use Discord. So as soon as you join, you're going to be flooded with spam. People telling you, join our channel and get this or that free, or invest in this. And most of the time it's just annoying because most of their attempts are obvious, but it's so constant and tiring. It can wear you down. But so yeah, just be careful, I guess. Some main advice. Don't get scammed. Don't buy in anything. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. That's how it works.
Cool. Yes, that's good to know. I mean, just be aware of all the social scams and in the gaming space. I mean, like, a lot of people like there's bound to be a lot more trolls and a lot more people who just treat this as a game. They just want to troll people. They want to they just see like avatars instead of a real people. So they feel that if they do rip off somebody, they just think that they're just ripping off an avatar. When in reality, it is a person that had their life savings, or maybe just hopefully not the life saving, but just whatever money crypto that it's been ripped out of them. So I guess I do want to be respectful of everybody's time. So I'm just going to give each panelist a time to make any closing thoughts, if they have any, on I guess on accumulating crypto. Like, so we can start with Adam. So do you want to make any final thoughts on someone who wants to develop their own app in the space?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ideas and opportunities that crypto opens up for people to make new sites and services. Like, we didn't touch on prediction markets and betting and creating, like I worked for a meshnet company that lets you sell your internet bandwidth. If you're not using your internet bandwidth 24/7, you can share it with your neighbors and charge them like by the gigabyte for using your Wi-Fi. You can rent out your hard drive space. Like if you have a big disk and you're only using 10% of it, you can let other people kind of use it like cloud hosting, where they pay you in crypto for storing their files, and their files get encrypted so you can't look at them or access them. You just store a piece of it. And there's all sorts of interesting applications. And crypto opens up a whole global marketplace. So if you want to just put up a website and say, I'll hop on a Zoom call with you and just like listen to you gripe for an hour, you can do that for someone on the other side of the world and they can pay you instantly. And yeah, it's so easy to monetize any service or product that you want. So just pursue your passion and have fun while you do it.
I think the last part about how you say about like finding that passion and having fun. I think that's a huge part because the last thing any of us want to do is to be pursuing something that we may not have a passion or interest in, but we may be tempted by like the money and how because there's a lot of money we go in, right? Think about like someone who has zero interest in NFTs, like jumping into NFT space. They may be able to like make something like at the beginning, but when the market goes sour, like what we're seeing right now in NFT space, they're going to be the first to drop out. And yeah, I think I'm having fun, having an interest, pursuing a passion plays a huge role in this. Uh, Thanks, Adam, for that. And then, so for Tian, do you want to make any closing thoughts on anyone want to pick up freelancing and such? You are on mute.
Yeah. Well, I actually like I said earlier, I'm not like a big proponent of freelance work. I'm only doing it because I just want to still have a foot in the Web3 space while I maintain my current full-time job, which is again not in the blockchain space. So I actually wouldn't recommend it unless if you prefer it, unless if you like it. But like for me, I'm just doing it out of necessity. Well, no, not out of necessity.
Oh,
but
out of interest, right? Because you were interested. You want to still be in it, but you still enjoy. I guess you still enjoy that full-time job with another company, but you still want to be, I guess, kept in the loop, right? And to make something on the side.
Yeah, and then, but eventually, I do want to move full-time into the space, to the blockchain space for sure. And then I echo. I think Adam, you shared recently before me, right? The blockchain space is super fascinating. I love it for all the ways that you can get involved and all the things you can do. And like every day, I'm just so enamored by everything that you can do. And like, I almost wish I could clone myself and do it all, but I can't. Like, there's just, and there's so much like good stuff, like morally, ethically good stuff, I think that you can do in this space. Like, there's a lot of projects that are all about, sorry. So like I was just browsing I'm in this Discord group that's a part of this other design studio that I also kind of do work with them, but like they're on and off. And they're called Deep Work Studios. They're primarily about doing design work for the blockchain space. And they have this channel all about, it's called Climate Change. And in the Climate Change channel, they share a bunch of different either projects that are well, most of them are open source, or existing startups that are working on tackling climate change with blockchain, or project proposals, or grant opportunities. And as I was just scrolling through, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be able to do all of this because climate change is the world's most important problem that we need to solve. But I'm too busy with all this other stuff. And it's just so much. And that's just tip of the iceberg that I just mentioned. So like there's never ending stream of things you can do. And again, I think I love blockchain because of all the good stuff you can do, all the ethical, moral, good stuff.
Yeah, lots of opportunities in the blockchain space, and and I love how you mentioned about like ethical blockchain, because I think we've yet to see like ethical, like I guess projects in the blockchains that's like to do good, right? Because you know how in the tech space you have the term like tech for good. I think like it's about like we're still like maybe like a year or two, right, before we start seeing like blockchain companies, like, or even not just companies, but just developers, right, who want to make a difference through blockchain, and they're not really in it for the money; they're in it for making a difference. And I think I think like it's coming soon, right? Maybe like once everybody's able to go out again, right? I think I could picture that maybe like a few years from now, we're going to start seeing like hackathon events where like nonprofits I guess these hackathons would partner with nonprofits and charities to identify like different issues in society, and we're going to say like, hey, let's do something for let's say the lack of transparency in and let's say food distribution in developing countries, right? And then it could be like a partnership with World Vision. I could see something like that, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
it's going to get more exciting from here. And
UNICEF has a blockchain R&D department.
wow,
Yeah.
did not know that. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And then I just want to make sure we do end on time. So I'm going to ask Andrew to share any closing thoughts for anyone who wants to get into blockchain gaming, who want to earn and stack the Satoshi through gaming.
Nothing more to add, really. We're gonna do our class next week. So if you want to learn about how to get into playing to earn with some blockchain games, join us next Wednesday. We do some giveaways of assets to take away your startup costs. So there it is. Yeah, it's got a link for you. On Discord is where our scholars and professors, I'm calling them, hang out. We got a Professor Crypto Unicorn 420. I know it's not the most academic title, but I promise you she's been playing to earn for a while and has made her money back with the game she's going to talk about, Hash Kings. So if you're into that, come join us.
So that's next Wednesday. I mean, if you want to get started with like blockchain gaming, you want to get started, getting the ropes of getting started. And you mentioned something about like helping with startup costs. So is this part of the scholarship program?
Yeah. So there's two games we're into in particular right now: Rising Star and Hash Kings. In Rising Star, there's an NFT called a Pizza Slice. And the Pizza Slice restores your energy, allowing you to do more missions and level up faster. So what I've done is, for people who join our scholarship program for Rising Star, I lend you 3 pizza slices at a 0% rate. So I'm just giving you some pizza, and that'll help you play the game better. Although you don't need the pizza, you're definitely at a disadvantage without the pizza. And in Hash Kings, we've been giving away free seeds and free water to grow your hash, and some plots of land under market value if you don't have any. In the future, I'm just going to lend land to people. Just like other games, there's a land concept and I can rent land out. But for students, I'm going to set the fee to 0%. So we just make you farm.
It's very generous of you.
Well, I mean, it promotes a game that I like and that we're invested in, but yeah, it's good. It's similar to Axie scholarships, if you've heard of those, in that, these games can be victims of their own success, in that the more people play and the more they grow, the higher the startup costs become. Unfortunately, that's how it is. You know what it costs to start playing Axie now? It's actually it's like buying an Xbox game. Actually, it's worse. It's like you could start playing a PlayStation game for cheaper than you can start playing Axie. And that's the double-edged sword so when they're young, these games when they're newer, are cheaper to get into yet because the tokens they use aren't expensive yet, if that makes sense. But yeah, we help you out either way.
All right. Yeah, thanks for sharing about it. So
$1,000. Wow, geez. Sorry, I was just reading the chat. Someone said Axie costs $1,000 now to get started. Jeez, I could get a whole ass PlayStation, not just a game.
You can get a whole PlayStation.
Jeez
Louise. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. And also just want to thank all the panelists here, Adam, Tian, and Andrew for sharing their experience in the crypto space. And just a bit more on the panelists, if you want to find out more, these are some of the links. So you have Andrew's blockchain gaming website, blockchaingaming.com. He has a Facebook group and a YouTube channel. He also has the scholarship program, which you can join his Discord to find out more about it. This is Adam's website. I'm CoinOS. So if you don't have a wallet, or you know of, or you want to get your favorite coffee shop or your favorite store to consider getting into the crypto wagon, right? You can talk with Adam to see how can you share like CoinOS to them. And then this is Tian's Medium post about how he got into the world of blockchain cryptocurrency. So once again, just want to thank all of you guys for sharing your experience. And my wish for every one of you guys is from this session, I do hope that we're able to inspire you guys with more alternative ways on how to grow your crypto, such that if trading is not your thing, here are some more ways to do it, right? And I think some of the lasting thoughts that some of us share, right, really made a lot of sense about how important it is to like really like do it because of your passion, not because of the money or the opportunity. Yes, it does help. Like if the crypto is you're accumulating increase in value over time, it helps. But I think important that I do personally tell everyone that at the end of the day, what is really important is to identify that your why in the space, because we all enter crypto with a reason. Like we all wanted to get into crypto for a reason. Like we bought that first like Bitcoin, or for now first like 1% of a Bitcoin, right? For a reason, like whether you want to get in because you want to save up for the future, right? You want to save up for your kids' college fund, or maybe you want to prepare for retirement, or maybe you think that the US dollar, Canadian dollar, fiat dollar is going down in value, and you're looking for a hedge, right, against inflation. Like it's important to keep track of that, because I've seen a lot of people. They got in crypto, but they don't have a purpose. They don't think about it, or maybe they lost sight of it. And at the end of the day, like, what you see is all they do is they just chase candles. You see them like on the screen, right? They have like they'll have like all these like trading candles, or they show their wallet balance on the screen. And every time like it goes up $1, they get excited, and it goes down, they get sad. And it turns out, and the way when I see these people, I just see that okay, these people are no different than like crypto zombies, right? Where like their joy in life is from the price of Bitcoin, from the fluctuation of crypto, and not really from the things in life. And the reality is, like we do live in a world where like there is more to life than just crypto, right? And I can say that if crypto goes down to zero, like I wouldn't be sad or anything. To me, it's just like extra disposable income I put into this space, and I do hope that's the case for all of you guys. That at the end of the day, I'm like getting a lot helps in life, but it shouldn't be like the main purpose of why you are like living, right? And that's why I like to say that at the end of the day, like, what's the point of like accumulating a lot if you make a lot but you lose a lot, you lose a soul, right? And where like people around you, they don't respect you because they think you're no different than like a drug addict, right? Instead of drugs with crypto, your family doesn't respect you, and like what type of life would that be, right? It's probably not a happy life. So so my goal is for everyone to don't lose sight of the purpose, not lose sight of the why in the space, right? And to continue the passion, right? So so once again, thank you for all the panelists. Thank you for everyone who joined us. And I guess I'm going to end the live stream right now so that we can open up the next